Hello, and welcome to this Supabase Pro Kit plugin tutorial. Let's start with a quick overview of the plugin and its demo page. The Supabase Pro Kit plugin lets you seamlessly connect your Bubble application to Supabase, a powerful open-source backend as a service. On our demo page, you'll see real, practical examples of key Supabase features in action: authentication, database operations, RPC, and broadcast, along with common use cases you can easily adapt for your own app. With this plugin, you can bring advanced database management, secure authentication, real-time updates, and storage straight into the Bubble editor. No need to set up or maintain your own backend infrastructure. That makes the Supabase Pro Kit especially valuable for Bubble users who want more flexibility, greater control, or seamless connections to external data sources. Now that we've reviewed the demo page, let's jump in and begin the setup. Once you've installed your plugin into your Bubble app and created your profile on supabase.com, your next step would be to create a project under your organization. Click on Create New Project, select your organization, assign a project name, a database password, and a region, then click on Create. Next, go to your project settings, select the Data API tab, and copy the project's URL. Switch the tab to API Keys, select the API Keys subtab, and click Create New API Keys. Once those have been generated, you should copy the publishable key and the secret key. Now, return to your Bubble editor and select the Supabase plugin from the Plugins tab. In this window, you have to paste your project URL, API keys, and set the log level to debug. To see the plugin in action, let's create a login or sign-up page with relevant inputs and buttons to attach the authentication workflows. First, add a Supabase auth component to your page. In the Layout tab, make sure that the component is visible and its dimensions are set to 1 pixel height and width. Add 2 buttons, create an account, and sign the user in. Now, click on the Create Account button and assign a workflow to it. When clicking on Create Account button, call Step 1, sign the user up, and choose your Supabase auth element. Retrieve user's email and password from the relevant inputs. Proceed similarly with the sign-in button. Once it is clicked, log the user in with their email and password. Run the page to test it. Provide an email and a password, and click on Create Account. Now, with the same email and password, we can sign the user in, and we can see the user details that the page retrieved from Supabase. You have created a basic authentication functionality in your app, and you can log your user in using the Supabase database. This tutorial is brought to you by Zeroqode. We are a no-code development company that specializes in building plugins, templates, and custom solutions for Bubble. With over 800 plugins for Bubble Web and mobile, more than 10 years of experience, and Bubble Gold agency certification, Zeroqode helps founders and teams build, scale, and launch powerful applications faster. Check out our links in the video description. It is the moment to create our first use case with an actual database. To add this functionality, we will have to use the Table Editor or SQL Editor in the Supabase dashboard in order to create tables. They do the same thing, the only difference being that one uses SQL code and the other one uses a more user-friendly interface of inputs. To create our tables, we will use the following bits of code from our demo page. Start with the authors table. Let's go to SQL Editor and paste the code from our demo page. The table's name is authors, and it has an ID field of the unique identifier data type, which is a primary key. It also has a name field of string data type, and it has a constraint which prevents the data from this field being null. Let's click on Run to execute the code. Now check out what happened in the table editor. There is an authors table with ID and name columns. Enable the row-level security setting to enhance the privacy of your app. Let's create the second table, Books. It has the following columns: ID, title, and author, and this author, ID field points to the author from the authors table. Once we run this code, the table editor is already updated with the structure of our table. Finally, we will create a view, which will use data from the two tables to display the books with their respective titles and authors. To display this data in a user-friendly format, we will need to design a page and configure it. First thing to do is to install the API connector from the Plugins tab. Once it is ready, create a new API, which should be named Supabase. Inside this API, add a new GET call, which will serve as our data type. Let's name it Books with Author, the same as the view we created in the Supabase dashboard. This is the API response that we are expecting the API call to return. Let's click Save and then initialize this call. On your page, add a Supabase database component and assign a proper name to it. Set its data type to the name of the API call that you just created. Set the database schema to public and the table's name to the one that you have configured in your Supabase dashboard. Put an asterisk in the columns input box, which means return all columns and rows from this view. Next step is to create a layout suitable for displaying the data that is returned from Supabase. Add a repeating group and set its type of content to Books with Authors. Data source should be that database component's Books with Authors objects. Add another group into your repeating group. Set its type of content to Books with Authors and the data source as current sells Books with Authors. Inside this group, which represents our cell, add 3 text elements, each of them referencing parent group's book with author's ID, title, and author's name. Once we run the page, we can see that the IDs, titles, and names of authors have been loaded and are displaying on our page. In addition to authentication and database features, more advanced workflows are showcased on our demo page. In the future, we plan to record more hands-on tutorials for this plugin, so don't hesitate to suggest a use case you find interesting in the comments on this video or on the forum in the official Supabase Pro Kit thread. You can find all the relevant links in the video description. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.